Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to the King of Battles 2, brought to you here by Alpha X. This event wouldn't be possible without one of our major sponsors, Backblaze. Backblaze is a pioneer in robust, scalable, low-cost cloud backup and storage services. They provide unlimited computer backup services for both Macs and PCs. For just $7 a month, you can keep backup files of all of your most important documents, music, folders, pictures, and anything else precious to you backed up safely to the cloud. Not only can you restore files at home or on the go with their mobile apps, Backblaze features a restore by mail service. When disaster strikes, Backblaze will send you a physical hard drive in the mail with all of your backed up files inside. If you already have a new hard drive in your sites, just send it back within 30 days and they'll refund you the cost. They make storing and using data astonishingly easy, and we hope that you'll consider checking out their solution to data management. Visit backblaze.com/KOB2 to check out a free, fully featured trial of Backblaze's amazing data management services. Get peace of mind knowing your files are backed up securely in the cloud with Backblaze. Thanks again for checking out one of our amazing sponsors, and thank you for checking out Alpha X.
What's this one event? I'm not even sure if it was the GSO. That's the spawning pool first. That's gonna cause some stir here. It's funny how Byun is not going for a low ground ramp this time around when, you know, you do have that ramp there as well. It's going to be on the high ground, and his barracks is in place. So I don't know what he's been eating, but it seems like something is giving him signs from the future as what's about to happen.
Yeah, so talk about signs of things that can happen. It's interesting here. In this game number one, we're not seeing the weird building placement ideas that Byun had against Raynor. You know, he's just Eric's in the wall, stock standard, Reaper. I mean, to be fair, he did go Reaper expand in game one, but everything is as you would expect it to be, which is interesting because if anything, this can say two things. It's A, Byun's less worried about denying scouting from Serral than he is from Raynor. But also, it could just be a nod to the fact that, yeah, Raynor's going to figure out what I'm doing anyways. The idea of trying to pull wool over the eyes with weird building placement is, well, it's going to be less of a thing.
What about the idea that he knew that Serral would be watching the previous series and he just never did the regular barracks? Maybe, well, I guess Serral's not even being aggressive with these units, so... Maybe he just did it against the Proxy 2 Rex as well to be safe against that, right?
Yeah, going pool first.
Some people do that.
Yeah, if you go on pool first, if you think your opponent is going to be aggressive, it can be a good play. If your opponent doesn't go Reaper expand, ooh, yeah, this is interesting. So Byun is reading into this a lot more than I think he should. I don't think he saw the third, and now with the bunker coming down, he's like, oh, I got to be very careful. I died to Raynor because I didn't have a bunker in time. And now that's going to be a problem. Now, we have one Ling going across the map. And this bunker, I expect he's going to cancel it / salvage it very quickly. But still, I mean, Serral already on kind of the mind game lead here. Just, he went for a pull first, and Byun is way overreacting to it.
Yeah, Siege the third now, so he will be able to salvage it.
There we go. Okay. And
just go along the regular track from this point onwards. I mean, neither of these players really crippled that much, right? It kind of feels like it's equalizing each other out. Both of them being very safe, though, which is very cool to see with these types of games, right? In these big tournaments, it's very different than seeing Byun play a show match or something like that, where it's like $20 on the line or something, right? For a couple of games.
Well, it looks like you talk about, you know, things being very different, Kozan. There's one thing that is staying the same. Game one of both series, we got a roach bush. I mean, in fairness, it's Blackburn. It's a wide open map. It's got a relatively quick natural rush distance, but it's going to work out here for Serral extremely well, as guess what Byun's going for?
Yep, the Hellbat bush. I see that armory coming in.
How good?
It's going to be interesting.
On a scale of 1 to 10. How good are Hellbats against roaches, Kozan?
Well, I don't think they fit on that scale. I don't think that's a skill that anyone would need to look at.
So we're going to call it like -5 on the 10-point scale. And
probably,
how
yeah.
It's gonna be.
Exactly. Oh, it's bad. But he's getting Banshees also. The Stimpak's coming in. It's not going to arrive in time, of course, but I think he must have one Banshee at least right now, right?
No, I believe this was this is the first Banshee popping out now.
No. Oh no, he might be in a lot of trouble.
Now the Roaches are going to start to breach the natural now. I mean, if the Hellions can get some good lineups, they actually can do something
this
here.
Is really good so far.
Yeah, actually, you know what? He's got critical mass here. The Roaches are not paired up together. This is. He's crazy. You're like, how the hell that push? It's Roaches. What are you going to do here, Byun? But knocking down 3 or 4 Roaches to start here, buying the time for the Banshees, Serral's not going to get anything done with this.
That was massive. Serral a little bit too quick with moving forwards there, and now, yeah, he lost his Roaches too quickly. There's the Banshee. This is not done anything.
Hey, I will
this is
have
the
you
opposite
know.
of what I thought would happen.
I will have you know that one Roach found its way into the base. Therefore, it was successful. He found his way back home. He found his way in. And that's all that matters, I guess.
Getting the burrow upgrade right now as well for Serral. Interesting. What do you think his plan is with that? Just burrow banelings or try to deny expansions? Simple stuff?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's not going to be burrowed banes. We don't have a baneling nest. It's going to be, I mean, this is Roach play. We have Evo Chambers on the way. It's going to be 1-1.
Burrowed Roaches, you think? Would that be a chance?
Is it burrowed Roaches or is it a mistake?
I don't know. It could be. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Sometimes you read into things and then it turns out it's just a mistake.
Yeah. I mean, on a lot of keyboard, on a lot of, I don't know what Serral's hotkeys are, but on a lot of hotkeys, the hotkey for burrow is the same as the hotkey to build a Roach. That's both on R. So if Serral uses default hotkeys, that could be what it is, as we do have 1-1 underway here. But we do have link speed, and we do have Serral at least considering his mid-game transition. Does he go into like Roachling Bane or something? Of course, no Baneling yet, but getting Lings does just provide him with a little bit more kind of utility on the map. As we will see the rest of these Hellions. I mean, it's Roach play. Hellions are not going to be all that useful, so might as well make as good use of things as they can. He will scout that. Yes, there is a 4th base. It is on the gold. Yes, I can knock down some creep spread. Maximum value at this point that Byun really is going to be able to get out of those, and it's going to tell him what the game state is, what he needs to do. Banshee, of course, patrolling in the middle of the map. Again, early warning systems. Byun making sure that he's going to be able to take the 3rd base as he wants. Well, he's already taken it, but make sure he's going to be able to hold the 3rd base as he wants. And notice, I actually really like this from Byun. A lot of Terrans are going to take the triangular 3rd. They're going to take the aggressive 3rd that's going to allow them to push. In fact, that's how we, in part, how we saw Rogue beat Maru in the GSL. He went for that push. He just kind of died to Roaches. It's fine. Taking the linear 3rd is so much further away from this Roach push, and it opens the Roaches up to so much of a counter concave that it makes it a lot harder for Serral to make this happen. But, you know, if there's one player in the world that can beat Maru's ZVT or TVZ, it is Serral. So if he knows how to come back into a game, I mean, he's going to make that happen. We already have Infestors on the way. He's going into the Hydra play. He's kind of going that Roach or that Dark style. It's exciting.
Into the Lurkers. It's a good strategy. He's also mixing in a couple of those Infestors already. Gonna increase the lethality of those Roaches quite heavily so. As soon as Marines and Marauders get a little bit too close, of course, those Roaches will close the distance very, very quickly. In combination with a couple of Biles, I mean, we know Serral is pretty good at those spellcasters as well.
And by the way, you asked why Burrow was happening. It's not for the bird roaches. I mean, we don't have tunneling claws, nothing like that. But it's for the infestors that he got. Yeah, it's for the infestor flanks that Serral just has found so much value in. Really, over the last forever, just traditionally been very good at. But there we go. 2-2 is underway. Lurkden halfway done. Hive is done at 9 minutes. Serral's done such a good job of just. Sorry.
Sorry, just with the burrow upgrade, I find it pretty cool that he went for it at that time then, right after he lost a lot of guys. I thought he would go in a little bit of a panic mode for a potential counterattack, but he knew exactly what he could get away with, and he just started prepping for a later part of this game where he would have infestors. Already spending money on that, that's pretty good. That's showing a lot of, like, just, game knowledge and stuff like that, which we know he has, but... it just impresses me every time I see him play.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So we had Byun in an advantageous position. Oh, look at that fungal there coming down. The entire army melts.
Brutal. That's a fungal to be proud of, that's for sure.
But anyway, the point I was, before I got so rudely interrupted by, Serral hitting a god fungal or god paired fungals. I think that was actually 2 fungals.
Yeah.
Serral understood that Byun was not going to push into him because even if Serral's push did not work out all that well, what he knows is you don't push into 1/1 Roach, right? That is just, it's too hard for the Terran to really make anything happen. So Serral was able to really greed up behind that, just build enough roaches to make himself safe, but also get the Hydra Den, get the 4th base, get the 5th base, get into Hive, all those different things, because he knew that Byun most likely was not going to push into him, because you don't push into a game like that. Now we do have Byun. He's taking his 4th base, roaches on the backside, and tanks are not quite in position to defend this. Files are going to drop down, but it looks like only 5 SCVs will pay that iron price. But Byun is not set up for this next stage of the game. We have Vikings on the way. I guess to deal with the Vipers, but Ghost Academy only just now getting started.
That could be a problem. Yeah. Well, let's see if he survives until he has a reasonable amount of Ghost out. You are going to need them in case you want to get aggressive again. Those Nidus worms trying to be assembled. Gonna tax the multitasking of Byun here a little bit more so, of course. Skull base is getting bombarded quite heavily. It's going to be a while before that. It's going to be mining again.
Yeah, just the tanks are with the rocks not going down, right? It's so hard for Byun to really get on top of where the army is looking to just prevent the mining. But now it looks like he's going to be able to move on in. And I love this use of Nidus, by the way. It's not just I'm going to drop a Nidus in the main and maybe I'm going to get something. It's a rapid reinforcement utility that really allows him to reposition, honestly, even faster than the Terran can. And yes, it is something that can die a lot easier than a medevac does, but it still does allow Serral to really show his positioning prowess, as now he's going to siege up on this 4th base. Biles are going to go down. Tanks are going to go down here. Byun cannot really engage into this because there are still lurkers everywhere, so he will find the Nidus on the right, but 9 workers still do go down. Serral has taken every base on his side of the map, outside of the ones that are very hard to take indeed. Tanks are going to siege this up, but we have Ling Bane coming in. We have the tech getting ready for that as well. +1 melee about halfway done. Baneling speed is done. Adrenal glands are done as well. Serral really opening himself up for the counterattack ability late game. Oh, that fungal. Yeah.
I feel like Serral, he established the best right now, right? He definitely managed to get him the best possible situation for this stage of the game. And unless you just straight up winning, of course. But I feel like it's going to come down to whether or not Byun will be able to take a good fight here at some point in time. It's right. He kind of has to in order to get a bit more breathing room on his side of the map. He's kind of doing the cleaning up there right now. He's losing 21 SCVs in the process, but he's still on the 70 SCVs. He's built like 3 extra orbitals right now, so he's going to have a good amount of mules. That's okay for him. Surprisingly enough, losing that 29 SCVs. It's not the main thing that concerns me. I'm looking at the army right now and whether or not Byun is going to be able to take the next big fight when it happens.
Well, what I will say is if we look at kind of the spectrum of Terran players in TVZ, we have players like Maru, who really likes to go late game at the exclusion. We have, he can pressure, but still, he really likes the late game. We have Clem, who's a much more mid-game aggressive player. Byun, for a while, has really been playing more into that late game idea. His ghost control is fantastic. His ability to play Ghost Tank Liberator is very, very good. So we're going to have to see whether he can make that happen here. So now we do have Serral trying to find his way on in. The first fungal will whiff, but there is 1 or 2 more where that came from. Although with the EMPs, that answer is incorrect. We're going to see a bunch of ghosts get abducted, though. Energy for casters. Well, Serral's going to be pretty happy with that one, as he has a really nice sieged up position. Lurkers just trying to do what they can to deny this base. But hey, tanks are doing a good job there. Now, the question, though, is with all of these command centers in the air, they're not orbitals quite yet. Does Byun have the scan that he needs to deal with this?
So far it looks like he has. I'm not sure how many he has entirely, but he doesn't seem to be struggling or short on scans so far. Except for here, of course. Right now. Got another big lurker push. This gold base, man. That is just brutal.
Yeah, absolutely. That sieged up position is causing so many issues from Byun. He has his army in his quadrant, right? Actually, this game very much feels like it's a game where the Terran player is the Zerg and the Zerg is the Terran, and just in terms of like relative pressure.
Yeah. Yeah, I can get behind that. Instead of the Terran just continuously dropping, it's Serral getting infested with lurkers here and there on the edges. Here we go, another big push. That's a lot. Big siege tank line. The Vipers struggle to find the good targets to abduct, and this could mean a couple of lurkers here going down, rather than Serral finding a lot of momentum. Replenishing his forces with 94 Zerglings here.
Well, if you think about it, right? Okay, first of all, we have +2s about halfway done, but while Banelings are pretty bad against Ghosts, of course, Ghosts are not light units. They do bonus damage to light units. Banelings aren't light units either, but they cloak. It's fine. What they do is they force the Ghosts to micro away. They force them to cancel snipes, things like that. And that just chaos that you can create is really the value of Banelings in the late game, much more so than actually kind of killing the units.
Yeah. Yeah, it forces the Ghosts really to back up, right? No Widow Mines either on the field, so it's gonna have to rely on those siege tanks, as far as I'm aware, to try and get rid of that problem.
Yeah, so we do have Byun now. He has, it feels like Serral's been trading very well, and certainly his bank is fantastic, but Byun now has taken his 5th base. He's now starting to get aggressive, trying to take the in the middle map here. The Fungals are going to go down on a ton of Ghosts.
Oh, that's rough.
Banelings rallying in, and yeah, EMPs on top of those Vipers are nice, but it's the army that's scary, especially when Byun's army's not here.
Yeah, Byun trying to head up the top side, and you kind of have to, right? You can't allow Serral just to take the top and the bottom base. That's another death sentence scenario. So you got to be aggressive here, but that was a large quantity of Ghosts just being shut down. Look at the amount of mining that's already happened on that gold base in comparison to the one of Byun. And they kind of took it at the same time.
Yeah, Byun has not really been allowed to mine from that one.
Yeah,
the army
exactly.
Yeah, the army on the left-hand side is going to get taken out as well. That being said, Byun did take the north base. He was able to kill that. But he lost his own 3rd. These lurkers are just everywhere. It feels like Byun's played a great game, but Serral is just now starting to break him.
Definitely feels that way. I mean, Byun's been on the back foot for a while now, right? We haven't seen him get aggressive. The moment that he does, it's just so many Banelings rolling in. He doesn't have the splash damage to deal with the Banelings and be able to push at the same time. He just doesn't have those siege tanks right now. He's making 2 at a time, but I don't know. Maybe you want to try to look for something else instead as well to combine with this big engagement. Those Banelings getting close, but no Fungal this time to wrap everything up with a bow. It might not even matter.
Yeah, but those blinding clouds not allowing the tanks to fire, not allowing the backlines to fire. And that being said, Byun will stim on in, and he has cleaned up the army that's not the lurkers. The problem is the lurkers are still there. GG. Serral, he takes game 1. But you know what? We're going to have to see what that happens now on the bottom left. In the red, Serral.
His opponents representing the blue Terrans from across the universe. Shopify Rebellion. It is Byun. Another thing that I think is a staple about Byun is not just that he is aggressive, but he's also very good at judging situations and whether or not he should commit to the aggression. You know what I mean? When you see him play, like very often in comparison to other Terrans, he just backs up. Now we do see more and more Terrans do this, but yeah, he's one of the Terrans that knows when to back up. If a situation doesn't seem as advantageous for him, he's gonna back down and he's gonna try again later down the line with those units without losing them. Hopefully getting as much of a positive trade value as possible.
Yeah, well, I got a question for you here, Kozan. Is he gonna back up on this one? Is this 3 racks gonna cause him to back up? Has he read it properly? Or is so we're going to scout it because he's got an Overlord right in location, which he is, by the way, unless Serral decides to move around. Oh.
Yeah, it's not going to spot this.
He had this.
You're going to commit with this. Yeah, for sure. You should. Again, man, Byun, he's getting a little bit lucky with these openings also, right? I mean, every time he makes a choice, it seems to just be the better one available to him. Serral didn't go for the spawning pool first this time around. And, okay, that's a big pool of drones. Needs to deny the bunker here for a little bit. The spine crawler already going up as well. This is a pretty good start for Serral.
I mean, you gotta remember also, Byun is kind of presenting this as if it's a 2-Rex, right? With kind of sending that marine first, sending the SCV, and you pull drones against a 2-Rex. Absolutely, you do. And the goal of a 2-Rex really is just to kill those drones that get pulled. This is a 3-Rex though. And that is a whole different story here. Lings are already out, of course, but we have 3 Marines coming on in at a time. The Lings go down immediately. Oh, no. Serral, I don't think that he saw that. And yeah, the spine's going to go up, but it's already going to take half damage. The bunker will complete.
The bunker.
4 Marines in a bunker, and the spine is not in the proper position. There's a spot you can always hit where the spine hits the bunker doesn't hit the spine. That's not here right now as Byun, 3 Marines at a time, filtering on in. He's got so much pressure on the hatchery now. Serral, I feel like he's misread this a little bit.
Yeah, I guess he didn't know. To be fair, if you do stop that bunker from going down, I feel like it's okay, especially if you have that spine crawler as well, right? This situation's pretty reasonable, okay for you. But yeah, with that bunker there now, you're gonna lose the base. You are gonna lose the base, and you may just straight up lose the game afterwards.
Look at that, Byun dropping a scan on the high ground, trying to see whether he can chase after the queen. There we go, yeah. Serral misreading things. Byun, he takes game 2. That was quick. Yeah, but now we're just going to have, I'm sure we're going to have all the audience complaining about the really terrible jokes that just happened. But it's fine, because...
they never do. What are you on about?
Oh, never. Of course. Absolutely not. In this game, though, we don't see Serral kind of going back to that game plan of game number 1, where he's like, yeah, I'm just going to go pool first. I'm going to prevent any pressure. And granted, there was no pressure, but it's fine. And then he did find the win in the late game. And we actually, we see Byun going for a very similar build to what he did in game 3 against Raynor on this map, right? Where he went reactor first. He made that happen. Granted, the barracks was on the low ground in that situation, but still, it's fine. And yeah, it's going to be a 2-on-1 from Byun once again. Oh, sorry, it will be a 2-on-1, so it's not going to be the fake 2-on-1 here. And we're going to have to see whether Serral is prepared for it. Now, I believe this is going to be the 2-base 2-on-1. Oh. Ooh.
Well,
oh.
No, sir. This will be something else. 3 barracks. He is the wild man, isn't he? This is why he's called the wild man. He's wild.
I mean, you know what? Game 2, he showed us that if you build 3 barracks on the map, you might beat the Zerg. In game 3, he's going to show us that if you build 3 barracks in your base, you beat the Zerg. I don't know. This is an interesting setup here. And Serral, he's got a link across the map. Hey, you will see, oh, hey, there are 2 Marines. That's fine. Notice, Byun, he's trying to deny the scouting. He will be unsuccessful in that endeavor. And now we're going to have to see, well, whether Serral will be able to find his way all the way in before things happen.
It's a battle of wits from this point on. Will Serral figure out what's wrong with Byun's base here? Or what kind of assault will be coming at him? Because it will be a lot of Marines. And they will arrive at a moment where Serral usually, right, if he's not aware that there's something weird happening, he probably will be droning.
Yeah, let's see. Stim is done right around 4:30 in this build, 4:30, 4:45, which is, of course, when Byun is going to look to be hitting. But if you see, if Serral's able to get an eye on just how many Marines there are, he's going to kind of see that, wait a minute, that's a lot of Marines. This kind of looks like a 2-on-1. I need to hit drones here. Anyway, so let's see. He's going to see Stim on the way. He sees the second barracks. I believe he saw the second reactor, but he's not going to see the third. Granted, he sees no factory. He sees no starport. So this may, he knows what's happening here. He's got a Baneling Nest underway. He's like, yep, okay. I am going to come under some significant pressure. I need to make sure I don't die. The Baneling Nest will allow him to do that. He's going to morph, 3, 4, 5, 6 Banes. And because Byun is going to be pushing on to creep, it's going to be rather hard. It's going to be rather difficult for Byun to make sure that he gets his splits appropriately, even with Stim.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised about the small amount of Marines that have arrived across the map. I would imagine there's more on the way still. Oh, that's rough. A good catch there by Serral, finding a couple of those Marines. More reinforcements, though, whittle away at the circling numbers as well.
Yeah, so 6 Banelings are underway as Serral has scouted. Okay, well, there is stuff moving out of the map here. Of course, Byun does have a follow-up with this. There is a factory done. Starport is on the way, +1 as well. But Byun wants to get something done with this. You don't commit to 3 barracks before anything else and just say, yeah, I got 6 lings. That's fine. No, Byun does want to find value. That being said, he has forced a lot of stuff out of Serral that are not drones, right? There are 7 queens on the map, but that's kind of standard. Byun actually has the worker lead, surprisingly enough for a time. Here's Lings are going to look for this surround, but again, these Marines are in a pretty heavy cluster, but there we go. Serral, he's going for the big surround here. Can he make something happen? Lings, Banes on top of everything, the big surround, the target fire, all the Banelings, but the last one gets the hit.
So close, just a little misclick. You see the Byun saying something to himself there, like, probably like, I should have had that. Should have had that one click there. Oh, it was so close.
That last Baneling had like 2 HP when it made the connection happen. Crazy hit, but still, Byun, despite that, he's got his 3rd base underway. He's still up on workers. He still is going to have an upgrade lead. Like, I don't think he's in a great spot, but he definitely has things that he can make use of in this game to try to find an advantage, even as that trade happened, because, you know, he did kill some Lings. It was fine. I'm not sorry, it wasn't fine, but he was still able to at least trade out army in part, and Serral's lair is going to be on the later side of things. His upgrades are going to be on the later side of things. He's only on 51 workers. Maybe, just maybe Byun can make this work. That being said, the creep spread for Serral is disgusting. He's already halfway on the map here, actually over 50% on the map, and it's not even 7 minutes.
That's very true. We still have a good amount of Marines, though, so Byun has the potential to do something about that as well. I don't feel too bad about his odds. I think you're right. Serral does have an advantage here, but I mean, Byun definitely could still win this. Let's see if he manages. Good targeting on those Banelings. Very good trading here again, right?
Yeah, I mean, look at that fight. He gets so many Banelings down. He removes pretty much all the energy from the Queens, but he picks up in the low medevac as we see Byun tilt his head to the side. Not too happy about that one. The fight looks so good. And then he picked up in the medevac that had 10 HP.
Oh, just a slight little micro mistake. Very uncommon for Byun to make those, but seeing 2 very small ones kind of stinging a little bit here.
Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, this has happened in like 2 big fights in a row now, where Byun really starts to look like he has it. Right, he's got the Baneling target fire, he's got all this stuff, and then the last second, Serral equalizes and actually takes the fight. Now that being said, Lair has been done for like a solid 30 seconds. Baneling speed only just now getting started, and it's really hard to take fights when you have a Terran player that has +1 stim combat shields, tanks, all that fun stuff, and you don't have Baneling speed. It certainly means you can't really take the fight off creep. Even on creep, it becomes a little bit complicated. So Serral, he's going to have to sandbag for a time. That being said, Byun has lost his army twice now. So the push here on the 4th base is not nearly as impactful as it might otherwise be.
Yeah, I guess army supply is still a little bit similar. And with the siege tanks, proper targeting, right? You can still make this work. I'm not sure if he's going to kill a base, but he's going to force a lot of units out of Serral, put him in an awkward position. And just as long as he can get Serral to trade a couple of times into his advantageous sieged up position, we may be able to have him break Serral. Kind of similar as he did to Raynor. Remember when he was just continuously attacking and Raynor was holding on even though he was in a bad position. It's a bit similar like that, but now Serral, of course, in a much better position than Raynor was back in that game.
Nice pull here. We do have, Serral trying to make the break here, just distracting Byun for a second. There's only 1 tank, so it looks like that will be able to get cleaned on up. Not too many of the Marines go down, but the tank dies. The entrenched position is gone. That being said, the run by gets 3 SCVs. Not a lot. Byun with a really nice pull, but on the flip side, you know, he's only got 52. He really has not hit 60 in this game. It's kind of been a struggle for him to really, again, develop that economy as he stims on in. But the goal here of this push, he's not going to get the 4th. I don't think there are too many Queens here, too many Lings, too many Banes. But he does have nice pressure on that 5th base, although actually it looks like Lings were able to clean that one up. So, yeah, Serral not taking any damage anywhere. doing a very good job of just kind of making sure that his creep area is his creep area. And you talk about creep speed, by the way. Serral has creep into the third of Byun.
Yeah. But then again, the third of Serral is a little bit creepless. So Serral does struggle with this one area, and that's where the spearhead of Byun's army is continuously pushing. So even though he hasn't been able to kill this fourth base, he's been able to continuously trade there efficiently, I assume, and he's been able to keep it entirely clear of creep. And now, let's see if that is going to come into fruition with this army kind of beefing up and starting to bring more and more weaponry to the table. Liberators, siege tanks. Now it starts to get scary for Serral.
Yeah,
Long way away from the Vipers.
Yeah, Serral just forced to give up the base right now. Now notice, of course, Byun is still on that single eBay. He does not have +2 armor underways. We will see a medevac go down. But yeah, he's talking about that virtuous synergy of tanks and Liberators here, really allowing Byun to push on forward. And yeah, creep spread is now, by the way, on the rally between the natural and the third, because, you know, that's just a thing. Serral, so much map control there. But what matters, of course, is the creeper on the bases. As you said, that fourth base did go down. Now Liberators tanks sieging on up, looking for that pressure. That being said, though, it's going to be so much harder for Byun to take the fight now. It is 2-2 versus 1-1, but he's going to find so many overlords here. Serral is going to get supply blocked. Yeah, just a little bit. And Byun now, he's found his way on into the position between the natural and the third, able to maybe cut off that rally. This game is getting complicated for both sides right now.
Yeah, very low HP medevac is barely getting away with a lot of boys. These Marines as well find a little choke point. The Zerglings will eventually win this, but I mean, that can't be a cost-efficient fight for those Zerglings either, right?
Well, 2-2 versus 1-1, but yeah, still not all that.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. I didn't fully, yeah.
So we have Vipers on the way now. We have ranged attack, all that fun stuff, but this army that Byun has been able to find value with, even as he's, you know, been in maybe not the best spot, he's been able to find value. He did get the base. He's been making this work in part because he's had a lot of tanks and Liberators, and this kind of virtuous synergy of overlapping area of denial. He's been able to make it work, but now Vipers are out. Now the units that really hard counter what Byun has, they're going to really prevent stuff from happening. As, by the way, look at resources lost. When was the last time you saw a game where a Zerg had lost, a Zerg playing Ling Bane, by the way, had lost less than the Terran?
Really? Wow. Is that the case?
Yeah. It's about 500 resources.
Crazy.
I mean, with these Banelings going down to the tank, it's going to be it's not going to be that anymore. But briefly, Serral had lost 500 resources less than Byun as he tries to push in.
Very interesting.
Yeah, that's just the point, right? Byun went through that 3x. It did not work. He took some bad trades and has really not been able to find the value anymore. Serral, he's starting to build his bank. He has 200 supply. Lings are now going to come streaming on in, knocking at this one defensive tank. Yeah, Lings are going to show up here, but again, the upgrade's there. The fourth base is going to get killed, not even canceled. That's an extra lot of money. That's extra 400 minerals going down. The Lings, eventually they will get cleaned up, but not before killing off most of the rally. And now it's just all about defending this push. Yes, there are 4 Liberators. Yes, there are a bunch of tanks, but this is a lot of Hydras. This is a lot of Vipers. It's going to be damn near impossible for Byun to push in right now.
Incredibly difficult. It's a good thing he managed to get rid of most of the creep here as well. That's kind of the one thing he's got going for him. But as you mentioned, those Vipers, they're just so terrifying right now. And I don't think we have a Ghost Academy either on the field, which makes me believe this could be the final attempt for Byun to make this work. Because if he's not transitioning into Ghost, this is probably all his eggs in one last basket. Let's see, and I'm not that confident. I'm not that confident. It's not a lot of eggs.
That is a lot of eggs. To be fair, going into Ghosts when your opponent is not yet transitioned to Vipers or into Lurkers can be a mistake. Because it's not quite as good against fighting against a bunch of Hydras. But at this point, Serral, he's not going to lose that base. He has run bys everywhere. He may lose the upper... Actually, wait, I'm sorry. He is going to lose that base because he's giving it up. He says, it's fine. I can just kind of flow like water around the map, play that Zerg game. And, those drones are on walkabout.
Wow, he's going to save them, isn't he? That is such a brilliant way to move your drones. Oh, I can't believe it. What an adventure for those drones. Running all the way back like that, passing by the front lines of your enemy. They have a story to tell. But yeah, looking at the work accounts here, looking at the overall supply, Serral just getting more and more dominating right now. There's no real response for Byun either against these Vipers. And yeah, that's just going to mean this fight incredibly favoring Serral right now, even if it is on the opposite side of the map. GG is called. Serral will be able to move on through and get game number 3 in his favor.